Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about ACOWAR. As promised, doing this for every single book. This one I a little bit slacked in, but that's okay. Of course we're here to talk about A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I read this a really long time ago. I was just really too lazy to make a video about it. Not even lazy necessarily, just like unmotivated, which I guess is kind of the same thing. I'm trying to figure out when I read this. Let's see. So I finished this book 12 days ago. 12 days ago. So I'm really hoping that my mind remembers what's in this book and not the next one, because I already also finished A Court of Frost and Starlight, so.
I'm almost done with the book and I've not recorded a singular reading with me because I just didn't feel like it. I was so immersed. And something really big just happened. I literally had to stop mid-chapter because I cannot believe what I'm reading. I just started chapter 74, so the plot twist ended on 73. I have this much more of the book, and I cannot believe that just happened. Okay, so I was shocked and then not shocked because it was resolved, and then something else just crushed my heart. Why is this book? Why does this entire series rely on making the second half / the endings of each book so dramatic in a good way, and tiring and exhausting and dark and sad? I never knew this book series would make me teary-eyed. I just finished chapter 77, and I literally wanted to cry the entire time. I am literally so close to finishing. I'm getting nervous.
Let's get in with this though. So right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you what I rated this book. I rated this book a 5 stars. Of course I rated it 5 stars. So as we know, / if you remember in my last video when I talked about A Court of Mist and Fury, I also rated that a 5 stars. This is definitely 5 stars too, and I was reading the reviews on the app that I use called Storygraph, and a lot of people had very mixed emotions. I feel like that's with this entire series, it's always mixed. But people always rave about the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, but nobody ever really raves about this book, and I don't know why. Although it's like really heavy because, you know, this is when the war happens, I still loved it. The detail, getting to know the characters, the world building more, all of the new characters introduced, like, it really made me happy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just, I mean, look how beefy this book is. This is so far the thickest one in the series, besides the last one, which I actually just started. But yeah, so it was very intimidating getting into this book, but I read this in 4 days. I read this in 4 days, but the first book, it took me a week to read, and the novella, Frost and Starlight, took me a week to read, but this took me 4 days. So the way we ended on the last book, Feyre gets sent to the Spring Court. And so this book starts in the Spring Court, which is a little bit of a shocker, you know, because she's with Rhysand and, you know, not with Tamlin anymore. So she basically becomes a spy in the Spring Court, and that's how the book starts. And basically going through the book, she eventually leaves the Spring Court and goes back to the Night Court, which is where she lives with Rhysand, and just gathers information on Tamlin and about the war and everything. And that sounds boring, but it really wasn't. It was kind of like she infiltrated the enemy and like she was a spy. So I found it pretty entertaining. But basically the back of the book just talks about that, and then it talks about how war is about to come and they're getting prepared for that. And we also get to see Feyre actually like master her powers in this book, which is really cool to me because that's one of my favorite parts about this, from turning human to fae. But yeah, it's basically just about like love, struggles, teamwork, allies, you know. I don't want to spoil it too much because this is the non-spoiler section, but overall it was a really good read. The characters, the quality, just like, a lot of people say this didn't need to be that long. I'm glad it was this long. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed every single page of this book. Okay, going into the spoiler section. So if you don't want spoilers, click off the video or keep watching. But basically, spoilers about this book. Oh, where do I even begin? We see Feyre make a lot of deals and bargains. What's it called? I don't know if that's the word. With other people, so she ends up getting like 3 more tattoos. Because that's how like bargains work in that world. And I actually really liked the idea of that because it made me envision more of what Feyre looked like, as well as introducing these characters that then help them fight in the war, and that was really cool to see. Also, the part of the plot twist with their dad coming back into the book and him basically like saving them so that they won the war against Hybern, that was really cool, but then really sad when he died in such a gruesome and short-lived way, and that was just really sad. But also just like every which way I thought everyone was gonna die. I thought at one time in this book I thought each main character was gonna die, so I was sitting on the edge of my seat, which technically one of them did. I mean, Rhys technically did die, but then he came back to life. And same with Amryn. Amryn was let loose into her true form, and she's what helped them win the battle. But then she came back to life because Rhys like took her hand and got her out of the cauldron. But it was a lot. Also just Rhys and Feyre's relationship growing and intertwining is really beautiful, and I don't even know what to like say. It was a really good book. I literally am like speechless. For one, probably doesn't help that I read it like 2 weeks ago, but in general, to me it was unpredictable. I really did think they were gonna lose the war for a second because it was really bad. I just thought this book was special, and this is definitely one I would reread just for fun because I loved it so much. So yeah, I rated it a 5 stars. Maybe I'll read my review. So when I rated it a 5 stars, I said, this book was intimidating as it's bigger than 1 and 2, but funnily enough, I read this book faster than either of the other 2. I love this book. I even shed some tears surprisingly. This is true. The storyline and characters mean so much to me, and I am so excited to continue within the story, their story. The details, the twists, the joy, I can't get enough. And all of that is true. All of it is true. Please read this. I swear to you, you will not regret it. But maybe start with the other 2 if you haven't yet, because it will make no sense if you don't. But even like audiobooks, guys, if you do not like reading, get an audiobook. This series is 100% worth it in my opinion, especially if you love fantasy. Okay guys, I think that's literally all I have to say about this. I mean, I could talk about it for ages, but I just don't know. My mind is fried. I read this too long ago. I should have filmed it sooner. But thank you for watching. Be prepared for my next couple of videos. We're almost done with the series, guys. Thank you for coming along with me and enjoying it with me. It has been so fun, and I can't wait to do it again.